This episode is brought to you by Atlantic Broadband Business. Ready for a better business communications experience? Start with a better communications partner. At Atlantic Broadband Business, we connect you with the latest in advanced technologies and fiber-based solutions and back them with local, responsive support. Let us partner with you to provide the speed, flexibility, and reliability of a fiber data and voice network your business can depend on. Regardless of the size or type of business you have, we have a business communication solution that works for you.
So I'm here with Norman Dunagan. I'm at Whiskey Alley, one of several businesses that Norman owns. Norman, you're quite the man around town that no one actually knows a lot about. So tell us your path. How in the world did you get here? Because I think you were in another career path altogether at one point, and you made a turn.
I was corporate America. I was working at Frito-Lay. I'd been there for 14 years, and I'd worked my way up in that company. I had a lot of success. I was named top salesman of the year of 10,000 salespeople, and I was able to give away the trophy at the Fiesta Bowl one year. That was my honor for being named the best, but it was not a short period after that I was terminated from that job. And I think, like most entrepreneurs, we don't choose to be an entrepreneur. We're forced to be in some form or fashion. So I'd always admired the fact that no matter where I went with Frito-Lay and worked a store, there was just always a trash can. And so I know it's a crazy transition to go from being a potato chip salesman to a trash person, but I'm a big believer if one person can do it, anyone can do it. So we stepped out in faith. We started our company, Dumpster Depot, with 4 roll-off containers and no truck. And my wife was very quick to inform me that I hadn't thought about the fact that I didn't own a truck. But it was a big motivator for me. I went out and found someone who would haul them for me for a price, of course. And we started getting humble beginnings, 4 containers. Today we run over 400 of those same containers. We've grown into commercial, which is the front load cans, and now residential as well. So Dumpster Depot in 14 years is one of those companies you hear about that starts with $10,000 and grows to a much bigger number. And they say that that's what the definition of entrepreneurship is, to take something of lower value and make it something of higher value. So I'm proud to say that we've been able to do that.
All right, so you made this move, and it's successful, and yet I know for a fact that you receive a lot of coaching. You receive a lot of coaching that inspires you and keeps stimulating your thought. Talk about the value of coaching.
Well, I think all of us, if we're lucky enough, when we're young, we're involved in sports of some kind, and we get our first touch to coaching, whether it's football, baseball, wrestling, whatever anyone's sport was. For me, it was football was the big one, and I had coaches who absolutely molded me as a young adult. And matter of fact, one of my goals was I wanted to end up being a high school football coach, and that goal never transformed. But in a way, I've been able to become a coach to a lot of our employees. But in doing so, I'm always looking for coaching as well. I have a health coach, I have a business coach, and I have a life coach. So I really, truly believe that no matter what we are, whatever our station in life is, we can always be mentored and we can always be taught. So 9 years ago, I started with a business program called Strategic Coach. And Strategic Coach truly changed my life. When I went in, I couldn't really run Dumpster Depot. I was working 7 days a week, easily working 14 hours a day, and wasn't really gaining any traction. So when I went into Strategic Coach, they helped me find balance, where I was actually getting some rejuvenation, which it's amazing. Taking time off is a very important part of running a business. We perform hard, and we've got to be able to take some time off and rejuvenate.
And I would say in that same line, I still find myself today looking at successful people, trying to identify why they're successful, pulling those qualities and trying to apply them to what I do.
Right.
It never hurts to do that. And I'm also at the point in my career, I like coaching and teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see people graduate from Jameson University and move on with their career. It makes me feel great when that happens.
I like that too. You know, if left to be myself, I would be a huge failure. I had to learn what my strengths were and then hire people around me who could take care of my weaknesses. And that takes a lot of time. And we started with one person, and today, throughout our whole organization, we've got 90 people that are all pretty much working in their unique ability. We find quickly what they're best at, and we find quickly what they're not good at. And we try to eliminate them from doing the things they're not, focus on the things they are. I think people can enjoy their job a lot better when they have passion for what they're doing.
And, you know, in that line of thinking, it took me until I was mid-career to really understand that I could say out loud, I've got some weaknesses. I can't do all these things as good as some other people can.
Yeah.
And then to hire folks around me that could fill in my gaps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that business owners instantly come to that conclusion.
Well, you mentioned graduating from Jameson University. The thing is, as you go through life, you gain a lot of knowledge. And using the knowledge is a good thing, but there's a difference between wisdom and knowledge. And I think wisdom only comes with that mid-level to higher level learning. So it's what I always talk to you about. I know that I'm a board member of the chamber, and I know that we're getting close to where you've got to make some decisions on your life. And so that's what I'm trying to really just sell to you, is that you have a wisdom that if you decide to just retire, we lose in this area. And your wisdom is valuable, and I don't want to see it go away.
Well, let me make it clear. My retirement plans are a long way off.
That's good.
I hope.
That's good. Well,
we don't want to talk about that right
happy.
now. Okay, so Norman, as an entrepreneur, we don't see very many entrepreneurs in Aiken, or if they are here, they're not making themselves known. Yeah. Are there barriers? Are there obstacles that we need to be working on that would help an entrepreneur launch?
I believe that there are plenty of barriers to keep people from going into small business. I'm a true believer that you're either an entrepreneur or you're not.
Okay.
And I think that the mindset of an entrepreneur is different than a lot of people. You either have a consumer mindset or an entrepreneurial mindset. So if you love to buy things, I'm just going to tell you that's probably a filter that says you're going into the wrong direction. There are people who have businesses who just barely make it. And it's because those are lifestyle entrepreneurs. They're in business to have a lifestyle, and they want everyone to see that they're successful. There are entrepreneurs like myself who truly want to develop people, who want to develop businesses, and they want to take something from a lower level, make it a higher level. If that's your mindset and you're working for someone, I'm saying you're not reaching your full potential. We've got a journal day planner. It's called Goalpost Journal. And you can go to goalpostjournal.com and request a free copy of this. But if you have ideas that you want to be an entrepreneur, this is a great way for you to start setting goals and really thinking about your thinking. But people are made to be safe today. Think about when we go out, you get your grandchild jumps on his bike, he's got a helmet and elbow pads and wrist pads and knee pads. We're so afraid of failing, and we're so afraid of getting hurt that's a barrier for entrepreneurs today. I'm a big believer in go out there and get hurt. I had 3 failed businesses before I had a successful one, and the third one put me into bankruptcy. So we lost everything when I was 23 years old. So imagine when I went home and told my wife, who had lived through those 3 failures, hey, honey, I got a great idea. And so it's okay to fail as long as there's learnings from every failure. I would have never been a successful entrepreneur without the early failures. Another barrier, I think, is again not having a network, which is exactly what I think that the chamber provides for a lot of small businesses. So I'm a small business. I've got several, and every one of them are members of the chamber, and I have a really good understanding of what the chamber does at a high level and what the chamber does at a local level. But share with me the difference of what, say, I think and get of the chamber than maybe a really large manufacturer or a large business would think about the chamber.
All right, so in the chamber world, the way I think about it, first I wake up every morning thinking about how can I help business grow and thrive in Aiken, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that as a big picture. And then I have an understanding that I've developed over the years that I'd say when I first got in this business 40 plus years ago, the community was pushing that car to progress up the hill. Everybody was wanting their community to grow and thrive, and everybody was behind this push to see that happen. But what I've seen over the years is that the larger businesses are more macro and wanting to see the community be successful. The small businesses are standing along the parade route hoping something falls off that helps them stay in business until tomorrow.
Yes.
So I've got one group of members, and 90+% of our members have 10 or fewer employees. So we've got 1,000 members, but they're mainly small businesses. And so they need different products and take advantage of different products that the chamber has. The connection opportunities, where people see each other and meet each other, get the chance to pitch their product, talk about their goods and services, or either form collaborations that spring forward. So I've got that size business. Large businesses don't need as much of that. And what I have finally found out is they want to do what's right for the community's future. They're out there vying for new product lines to run in their industries. They're at headquarters saying, Aiken's the place for this. Aiken's the place for this. And they're bringing things that help build the economy. So to keep them strong and prosperous and positive about our community is very important. So, and then you've got mature businesses that don't need very much but want to give back to the community. You've got brand new businesses that are very needy, and we hope that we have the right product to help them move on in their business future.
Yeah. Early in my business career here in Aiken, I was meeting with Joe Lewis, and Joe is a past board member as well.
Chairman of our board, yes.
And so he knew I was green, and he knew I didn't have a lot of knowledge outside of just being a hard worker. And he said, Norman, I'm going to give you some advice, and whether you take it or not is up to you. But you can't grow a business without good partnerships. You got to have a fantastic accountant, a fantastic banker, a fantastic attorney, and you got to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And I think that is advice that obviously I still think of today. I absolutely took his advice, and I would recommend to anyone who's listening that if you're not a member of the chamber, you absolutely need to do this to fulfill all of your goals of business.
So Norman, we were talking about entrepreneurship. And I think people confuse the term entrepreneur with maybe small business owner.
Yeah.
What's the difference in your mind?
Well, so statistics tell us that, first of all, 50% of all businesses fail in the first 3 years. It goes to where there's only about 5% of businesses make it 10 years. That statistic also flows over to first-generation business owners. 80% fail in the first 5 years. The second generation has 10% of those companies make it more than 10 years. And then third generation businesses, less than 3% run the business successfully for 3 years. So I would say that gives us some indication to the difference of an entrepreneur and a business owner, because the person who has the passion and the desire to put everything it takes to make a business successful still only has 50% chance of being successful. But by the time that person has had a successful business and raises up a child who takes over the business, doesn't necessarily mean that child is an entrepreneur. And it doesn't really even mean they're a business owner. And the truth will be told in the length of time that they can keep the business going. But only 3% of third generation businesses can make it 10 years of owning the business. So business owners, I think, are someone who are put in a position of where they run the business either as a lifestyle business or they run it because they've taken it over from someone else. An entrepreneur is someone who is willing to do absolutely everything it takes, the lost hours of family, the loss of their fortune in some cases, just to make it work. There's the saying that an entrepreneur is the only person that will work 80 hours not to work 40.
And so I think there are a lot of folks out there that don't realize the risk, the passion that small business owners or entrepreneurs take, and don't realize what business does for our community. Supporting the little league teams and giving to other philanthropic needs and propping things up. People, that's why we feel like we have to awaken Aiken to the value of business, and that I want Aiken known throughout the Southeast as a pro-business community, a community that supports and encourages and enhances business growth.
Well, I chose Aiken. I lived in Evans when I started Dumpster Depot, and I chose the Aiken business community to be my home. And I think I go through what every small business owner goes through, where you have pride in what you do and you want your name out there for the things that you get done. But I think naturally over time, success makes it to where it's no longer about me. I want to make great teams, and then I want all of the light to be on them. So you were saying that I do a lot of things, but a lot of people don't know. That's by design. I really do want to lift up the partners that I have and the collaborations I have and make sure that they get all the credit. Ronald Reagan said that you can accomplish anything in life as long as you don't care who gets the credit. And I try to live my life that way.
I've seen that over and over. I know this is a sidebar, but I had a dream last night that I got a new job in a big city. And the condition of me taking that job is they had to hire my entire professional team from the AikenChamber because I didn't think I could do it without them.
I love that.
And so I think that's the way we try to function at the office, where everybody knows the direction we're headed in, and I have great confidence in my team.
I tell you, you call it a dream. What it sounded like to me was a nightmare because of the end result would be you going somewhere else.
I'm too old to go somewhere else. All right, so in this business path, you might have had some other steps, but then you found the alley.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody Norman Dunagan is the mayor of the alley. And talk about your experience of working in the alley, how two companion type businesses emphasizing different products, different customer base, I would think to some degree.
Yeah. Talk
about life in the alley.
Well, so the opportunity in the alley really came along from us having a failure. We opened a business. It was called Aiken Organics, and what we were trying to do was provide clean local food to anyone who was concerned about their nutrition. The thing is, that's a tough business. You're competing with the norm, and that is going to a grocery store and paying a really low price for corporate food. So we really never gained traction on that, but I found an amazing entrepreneur through the process, which was Alexandria Neese. So Alexandria was just saying, what are your thoughts of us maybe letting this close? And I told her, absolutely. Let's get you to something that you can enjoy. And they had been out to Denver and saw this model of a self-serve tap room. And we had just done the Compelling Cities report, and the thing that they said that we needed was a brewery and a whiskey bar. So we started with the tap room, and people really responded to it. I think anytime that you can bring that type of technology to a smaller town, because we're used to having to travel to a larger town to enjoy it. And I think that that's huge for any small town to be able to offer those type of amenities so that people can enjoy their own town instead of going somewhere else. So that was a huge success. Not long after we opened it, the old DeVore's building came open, and DeVore's was one of my favorite places to eat in Aiken.
Mine too.
But I couldn't afford it at the time. So when it closed, I was thinking, man, I would just love to have that back. So when we started thinking of this opportunity, I really pulled from a lot of the experiences that I had in Chicago. And I love just the deep wood grains. I love the smaller atmosphere so that it's always got some really good energy, no matter how many people are in the building. And I wanted to bring that to Aiken. A lot of people told me don't do it. My consultant said that we didn't need another restaurant, and my marketing team said they see them come and go. But the fact is, that's what entrepreneurs do. We take chances. And it was a chance that I was willing to make. And we're very thankful that it did. Just as people responded to the tap room, they responded well to Whiskey Alley. I would say that we're probably one of the top 3 restaurants in Aiken. So if someone out there has never tried Whiskey Alley, you absolutely have to come and at least experience the atmosphere, but I think you'll fall in love with the customer experience.
And so what are the demographics? Who's coming into the alley? What's your research show?
So it's everything we thought is wrong. We were thinking that we were going to get the 22 to 35-year-old population, and they do come. But what I'm so pleased with is that we're getting families. So we open a whiskey bar in the alley of Aiken, and it's nothing to see toddlers running around in here. And that was important to me because there were people who questioned my beliefs. They were, I'm peddling whiskey. But the fact is, what I'm trying to do is to create a great atmosphere where families can come out and fellowship and enjoy a good meal together. And we've accomplished that with Whiskey Alley.
So far we've talked about garbage, beer, and whiskey.
Yeah.
And I understand now ice is in your future.
That's right.
Talk about that.
Well, we've been taught collaboration at Strategic Coach now for about 3 years, and I've got some really nice collaborations in town. Mine with the tap room is a collaboration. Whiskey Alley is a collaboration. Mike Fanning, who owns All-Star Tents and Events, we've collaborated on a portable services business so we can take care of events and construction sites. You hear all the time that every day is a job interview. And that's just the way that it is for me. I'm constantly watching people, and I see them at their best. I see them at their worst. And I choose who we do business with in the future. And Mike was one of those people where when an opportunity came, it didn't even take a second thought. I'd been working with Mike on Sundays cleaning up events for years and years. So I knew he was a hard worker. I knew he was very ethical. And I knew that he had a smart business mind. So we started the portable business. But then Mike came to me with the idea of the ice rink and having it here at Christmas time. And it really pulled a string for me because we've lost the mall temporarily. And in my younger years, the mall was Christmas. You shop at the mall. There's all the Christmas lights. There's Santa Claus. There's so many things that get you excited about Christmas. And we kind of have lost that over a couple of years. And I've even seen what I think our Christmas spirit has dropped a little. But it's my belief that we're going to have this Christmas village. We're going to have the ice rink. And it's at the place where 36,000 people are going to go see Hopeland Gardens. So you wait 45 minutes in line to ride the bus over. We're going to offer something called a Fast Pass where you can come, buy your Fast Pass, enjoy 30, 45 minutes of ice skating, get on Freeloader, ride over, and step right on the bus. So no 45-minute wait. We think that the Christmas spirit in Aiken is going to be elevated by the smells, the sounds, the sights, the experience of the ice rink that we're bringing to Citizens
It
Park.
sounds like fun.
I'm excited.
Now, when we have the ribbon cutting,
Mm-hmm.
we need to practice. You and I need to practice a little bit of our ice skating. Since I've never had ice skates on, this could be a catastrophe.
You know what? I said I didn't need to go out there and break any bones, but for the blooper reel of that, I think we absolutely
We've got
need
to do it. We have got to do it. All right, now, so you talk about all this passion and drive for free enterprise, and yet you love freeloaders.
Well, so
what is freeloaders?
You know, it's my belief that every small problem is and can be solved by entrepreneurs. And in Aiken, we've got a small parking problem, and we haven't been able to figure out a solution. It's coming. I know that it's coming. But in the interim, I wanted to take care of our parking issue, or at least the perception that there's no parking downtown. We have people that haven't enjoyed downtown. They don't even think about coming downtown. And they say it's because there's no parking. It's too busy. We believe that Freeloader was the answer to that. Freeloader is a free downtown shuttle that is sponsored and supported by small business. And isn't that a great solution when there's collaborations of several businesses to take care of a problem? So it's a simple text to ride shuttle.
Yep.
We would like for people to park wherever they want downtown. Call Freeloader. We pick them up. They can go to their favorite restaurant. They can shop afterwards without the fear or discomfort of carrying all their bags back to their car. Once you're through shopping, you text Freeloader, you're brought back to your car safely, and then off you go. So we want more people to experience Freeloader. I would say go to freeloader.com, learn more about it. If you're a business that you think that this is right for you, absolutely give us a call. We've always got more room on the shuttle. We can throw a logo. And the beautiful thing about Freeloader is it's not just moving advertising. Once someone's in the vehicle, our people educate them on Aiken, educate them on the businesses that are on the side of the car. And we think that extra push is a way to increase sales for the businesses that help us make it possible.
And you're on the chamber board, and one day our program was about Freeloader, and then you took board members on a ride around the block.
Yeah, that's cool. A lot of fun. I'm very thankful to be a member of the board. I believe that the chamber does so many things for small business that we don't even know about, but we still enjoy. So my hopes are that the podcast that you guys are doing now is a great way for members and non-members both to see the impact of AikenChamber. And, so I would like to ask you a quick question. I know that we are one of the top chambers in the nation, and I don't think that should go not said on this podcast.
Well, thank you. Yes, the AikenChamber has a 5-star accreditation from the U.S. Chamber.
Yeah.
We are one of just over 100 chambers in the country that have this designation, and we've had it for 10 years now.
All right.
So we're real proud of that. The first time, it's a 5-year accreditation, we're judged in 9 categories, and the first time we were accredited, we got a perfect score in 1 category. We're doing our end zone dance. We're real proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
But we said the next time around, we've got to improve. There's other things we can do, and we did exactly that. And so the second accreditation, we scored perfect scores in 6 of 9 categories. So that kind of continuous improvement is what you've been talking about, is how you manage and how you function. And so we're trying to do the same thing. I'm running a business. I'm running a chamber that helps business.
Right.
But that's what I'm all about.
The chamber serves all business, whether it's the biggest businesses in town, mid-size or small. But I take pride in all of the people who have dreams of being an entrepreneur and those people who are starting businesses. And I just want to say that anybody that is thinking of starting a business, that one of the first things you need to do is join the chamber. It gives you credibility. It gets you networking with other small businesses. And when you step into that role of being an entrepreneur, it's like stepping on an island. You literally, at that point, have no more support from anyone else except for yourself. So you've got to make those connections, and the chamber is the place to do that. It allows you to meet someone else who has small businesses. Once you build those relationships, when you have a problem, you get the opportunity to call on that person who is, without a doubt, experienced the same problem you have. We all have ceilings of complexity, and it's our job as entrepreneurs to figure out how to break that ceiling of complexity.
And it helps build collaboration too.
Yeah,
It's
without
some
a
business
doubt.
opportunities. Yeah. So what did it mean to you a few years back at the annual dinner, the chamber surprised you and named you Small Business of the Year? What did that really mean?
You know, I wish I could express the pride I felt that night. That, first of all, I absolutely couldn't have been more surprised. We were a young business. I want to say that it was our 8th year in business, and we just worked hard, but we didn't know anyone was looking. Right. And I think that that's probably the best award that I've ever received. I know that my team, it lifted them up so much. We literally ran that next year on all of the air blown into us by what that award gave us. But it was a great honor for my team. It literally justified all of the hard work that all of our members put in. So I was surprised. I'm thankful. And I can tell you, I still shamelessly plug that every chance I get.
All right. So I tell people, I say a lot of times, by all the powers vested in me as the chamber president, which are absolutely none, yeah, I now hereby decree you king for a day in Aiken. What would you do if you had 24 hours in Aiken that you could accomplish anything?
If I could accomplish anything, I would eliminate the envy that people have in our town. We've got people that don't work together, but we have so many assets. We have so much collaboration that could be done in this town. And if we could just get everyone on the horse riding the same direction at the same time, there's nothing that we couldn't accomplish in Aiken. I love this little town. I've often shared that when I was with Frito-Lay, I saw hundreds of dying towns. I would drive through and see empty buildings. It's happening today. We took a tour with the chamber where we saw that one of the towns on the way over to see Sunoco, that
to Hartsville, yeah.
Hartsville, there was literally a town with almost every building closed in the small community. That's happening all over. So we live in Aiken. We assume that everyone lives like we do. But what we have to understand is we are blessed to have a downtown area that is as vibrant as ours. And the people downtown, we are all one big living organism. And if we've got to work together, if I could do anything, I would get all the businesses working together on the same horse, riding the same direction.
We're trying to do that. So in that regard, you talked a little about building relationships. You were part of our Aiken Mosaic group that we just finished with, and we matched non-traditional leaders and traditional leaders. What was your takeaway from that experience?
I went in and, like I was just saying, get everyone on the same horse riding the same direction. There's people who see things differently, but that's exactly what Aiken Mosaic was all about. It was about getting different people from different backgrounds in a room together and finding more about what were our similarities instead of what was our differences. The thing is, the last meeting that we had was so productive. And again, I'm talking about my small group, that we enjoyed each other so much in that meeting. And I hated that it was the last one, because we really were on the cuff of solving, I think, a really big problem. And then it kind of went away. So what I'm hoping is that the wins that everyone walked away with from that I hope it continues, and I hope it doesn't just, our lives get busy and it goes by the wayside.
Well, there was certainly a lot of people in the room that didn't know each other, that know each other now, that understand what they're doing in the community. Yeah. And I'm convinced that first night when we went around the room and we introduced ourselves to each other, I got goosebumps. And that doesn't happen often. But I'm thinking, we have got the people in this room that can make anything they want to happen. Yeah. And I felt like that was where we were.
Yeah, I'm confident with the people we have in this community. I'm confident with the leaderships that we have in place. We have everything we need to make a big difference. One thing I think that as a community we've got to focus on, though, is either recruiting or maintaining the younger population that we have and need to be a vibrant community. So we try to do our part. And, I think it's exactly why that we opened the few businesses that we have right now. And we hope that it brings customer experiences that people share with their friends and everyone wants to come in and enjoy. So we hope that when we're out selling new large customers, that when they come in, they like what they see, and it's enough to make them choose us over other communities.
Well, and you've hit right at the perfect time for me to say, if you're lucky enough to live in Aiken, you're lucky enough, and we want lots of people to come and enjoy our lifestyle.
I agree. Thanks for the opportunity to be on this.
It's been great.
I've
Thanks,
enjoyed
Norman.
you. Well, good.
All right.
Well, anything else we want to throw in there? Did we meet your goals? I know they were high.
That concludes today's episode of Lucky Enough. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks again to our sponsor, Atlantic Broadband Business. Till next time, I'm David Jameson, and let's remember to make today a great day for business in Aiken, South Carolina.